It's all right. It's all right. I feel that way too. We feel that way together, okay? Let it out.
Now it's illegal to burn the Israeli flag. It's legal to burn to the United States flag.
Okay.
But legal group hails breakthrough as U.S. judge equates Israeli flag with Jewish identity. So now it's anti-Semitic to burn the Jewish flag. But you can
What if I wrap it in an American flag like a flag turducken?
Yeah, like what if you do that? Mel, Village Crazy Lady, says, don't know how I missed this. Yesterday, a federal court banned the burning of the Israeli flag because it has the Star of David on it. You can still burn the American flag, but it's now illegal to burn the Israeli flag. Well, rather than be a bunch of negative Nellies about this, let's look at the positives. So if you burn the flag, it's made of something synthetic and really bad for you to breathe in that smoke. So let's just think about all the things you can do with it, because it's not illegal yet. Like you could use them to make a little parachute when you're doing midnight drug drops in your Cessna. And it's super absorbent household ShamWow of flags. That's what it really is. And now watch, they're going to make these jokes illegal. I'm guilty of being sarcastic violence, they'll call it.
Can I still use your flag to summon Enochian demons with Solomonic magic? That's what that symbol is, the seal of Solomon. There's no Magi David. That's not a thing.
So
the shield of David. It's nonsense.
So this ruling doesn't explicitly ban burning of the Israeli flag. It does suggest that a precedent has been set equating the Israeli flag with Jewish identity, which would open the door to ruling that burning the Israeli flag is anti-Semitic and not just a political statement opposing the Israeli government. So that's what this does.
Where's this Flags of the World store? I could just go get all the flags that I want to burn. Everybody seems to have access to flags.
Legal.
Order it?
So here's the story. A Jewish legal advocacy group hailed a legal breakthrough in court battles against anti-Semitism after a U.S. judge last week equated the Israeli flag with the Jewish race. The judge's decision sets a new legal standard that can be used to protect Jews targeted in an anti-Zionist attacks, said the National Jewish Advocacy Center, a nonprofit that represented the plaintiff. Pro-Israeli Jewish activist Kamara Sumrali filed the lawsuit in federal district court in Washington, D.C. last month. Sumrali alleged that she was attacked at a pro-Israel demonstration in Washington, D.C. in November 2024 while wearing an Israeli flag tied around her neck as a cape. An anti-Israel activist at the protest approached Sumral, or whatever her name is, from behind and yanked on the Israeli flag, briefly choking her. A police officer witnessed the incident and arrested the assailant at the scene. That's what the complaint said.
I'm going to make a jerk-off motion into an Israeli flag right now.
So it could be a cape. It could be, you could use it as a ShamWow.
Yeah.
You could use it to parachute your drugs. The anti-Israel, but you just can't burn it. The anti-Israeli protest was organized by Code Pink, a far-left activist group that often demonstrates against Israel. Both the assailant and the pro-Israel activists regularly attended dueling protests in the Capitol. Sumral said she had received death threats related to her activism after the attack, causing her to fear for her safety. Oh, well, I'm sorry, my little snowflake.
But you're super Jew. You got a cape and everything.
Yeah. The lawsuit argued that the assault was discriminatory, according to the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism. So now I don't know if you know what the IHRA is.
Yeah, that's that new thing, that bullshit they're trying to push of equating Zionism and saying Israel's bad as anti-Semitic. Yeah.
So this new definition, I think it's the International Holocaust Remembrance Association. Is that what that is?
It's that vague, non-defined thing of anti-Semitism they can change whenever they want.
So now they say everything is anti-Semitic. If you're against Zionism, that's anti-Semitic. If you want to boycott Israel over their genocide, if you say they're committing a genocide, that's anti-Semitic.
Do I have to be for starving the children?
So-
I can't say I'm against starving kids, right?
So this is the new crazy definition that people are using and the Trump administration is using. So the lawsuit, like others filed by Jewish Israeli supporters around the U.S., argue that Zionism is a facet of the faith and not a political. So they're trying to say that being a Zionist is intrinsic to being a Jew, a religious Jew, which it is not. Because the most religious Jews, the Hasidics, are against Israel.
Right.
They don't think Israel should even be a country.
We
They're
think it's a
against
blasphemy
Zionism.
against God.
And most of the Jews I know are against Zionism. The ones I know.
Well, they're not religious. But I mean, if you're religious, that's really insane to define it that way.
It is insane. Jewish legal advocates have used the interpretation of Zionism to protect pro-Israel Jews and combat anti-Zionism under U.S. civil rights protections that cover religion, race, and national origin, but not politics. So now they're just saying that their politics are a religion. That's what they're doing. The argument has been widely used in cases involved in Title VI of the U.S. Civil Rights Act of 1974, which bars discrimination in programs that receive federal financial assistance, such as universities. The lawsuit said Sumrall had been targeted in the attack due to her race, religion, and national origin, and sought damages and a restraining order barring the assailant from approaching Sumrall. Lawyers for the defendant argued that she had been acquitted of assault charges in criminal court. The defense said that the defendant's kafifa, or how do you say that? Kafia, had tangled with Sumrall's flag when the two bumped into each other at the protest, and that there had been no malicious contact between the two.
Your chocolate's in my peanut butter.
Yeah, you got your peanut butter
Your
in my
peanut butter's in my
chocolate. And so a criminal court already dismissed it, said, no, it's not guilty of this. This didn't happen. But the civil court ruled in favor of the crazy Zionists. The legal team also argued that the lawsuit was conflating honest and widespread criticism of Israel's policies in Palestine with anti-Jewish hate, and that the incident was not discriminatory, because it wasn't. The judge in the case, District Judge Trevor N. McFadden, sided with Sumrall, saying that the defendant purposely discriminated against her on the basis of race, and that she had likely committed battery, citing testimony from the arresting police officer. Well, she already had a criminal case, and they said she didn't commit battery. They already did that. They already went through this. The officer had declined to testify in criminal court.
You get a decline?
Where assault needs to be proven beyond reasonable doubt, a higher bar than in a civil case. The officer wouldn't even testify in the criminal case because he knew it was lie. That battery was direct evidence of discrimination that likely would not have occurred but for racial animus, the judge said in a court filing last week. Purposely yanking on an Israeli flag tied around a Jewish person's neck to choke them is direct evidence of racial discrimination.
I mean, it's not, but also that Jew's lying.
Wow. Wow. The Star of David emblazoned upon the Israeli flag symbolizes the Jewish race, the judge said.
That sounds like it's out of the 30s, dude.
Yeah, that does sound like it. Comparing attacks against the Star of David to using racial slurs against black people and dismissing the defense's argument that such an offense could be an objection to state policies. So the defendant did not have reason to think Sumrall was herself affiliated with the Israeli government. Rather, it was more likely that she was intentionally attacking a Jewish person wearing a Jewish flag as a symbol of her racial heritage, said the judge. Matthew Manin, Sumrall's lawyer, said that the judge's ruling marked the strongest language a federal court has come out with, yet that the anti-Zionism is obviously anti-Semitism. I'm an anti-Zionist, 100%. Charge me, arrest me. Manin said the ruling was significant because it established case law equating attacks against the Star of David and Israeli flag with anti-Semitism.
I call it the Star of Jeffrey, after the great Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
The hero of Israel.
Case-
After Bibi, not a Jew who.
Case law is formed by judges writing opinions on individual cases that guide legal interpretations in future cases. Case law differs from legal precedents in that precedents are binding, meaning they are rulings that courts must adhere to, while case law serves as a guidepost. And there's more to the story, but before I get to it, if you want to hear me do jokes about this, you can come see me in Rutherford, New Jersey, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Appleton, Rosemont, Chicago, Louisville, Fort Wayne, Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, and San Francisco. Back to the story. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets. In future lawsuits alleging anti-Semitism stemming from anti-Israel activism, for example, plaintiffs will now be able to cite the Sumrall lawsuit as evidence that there is a legal standard equating anti-Zionism with anti-Jewish discrimination. Menon said that the case would likely be heavily cited in the future.
Who, that girl? Sumrall Menon?
No, Menon is the lawyer.
Okay.
Code Pink decried the decision in a statement saying the lawsuit's dangerous claim that criticism of Israel's government and its flag, a political symbol of a state currently responsible for mass civilian deaths in Gaza, amounts to anti-Semitism. This false conflation seeks to criminalize political speech, even though many critics of Israel's policies are themselves Jewish. It is an effort to erase the critical distinction between opposing a government's actions and attacking a religion, Code Pink said.
Yeah, no, has Israel tried being more pushy? Maybe they'd win more friends with all this.
The lawsuit marked another development in the evolving legal battle over anti-Semitism and anti-Israel activism in U.S. courts. Pro-Israel and pro-Palestinian activist groups have filed dozens of lawsuits against their opponents, including universities, nonprofits, and individuals. Some of the tactics deployed by Jewish groups, including the National Jewish Advocacy Center, since the start of the war in Gaza, include suing nonprofits that facilitate illegal protests, using a law meant to protect abortion clinics to cover synagogues, and expanding civil rights protections for Jews to new arenas such as sports venues. So here it is. Training for NYPD officers categorized the keffiyeh and a watermelon as anti-Semitic symbols. Wow. Now even a watermelon.
Why would a watermelon? I mean, I wasn't whipping out watermelons for protests just because I would be afraid it'd be misconstrued as an other kind of racism. I wouldn't have thought anti-Semitic.
Wow. It's they're all this stuff. They think that they're going to get away, that somehow things are going to go back to normal and people aren't going to hate Israelis, and this isn't going to skyrocket actual anti-Semitism. Could you do anything worse? The reason why there was anti-Nazism is because they were killing people and slaughtering them.
Well, Jimmy, you covered this. Their economies collapse. It's like a ghost. What is it? Their weird zombie economy is based on disinfo. And as we know,
yes,
the most important resource for the state of Israel is anti-Semitism. And they've got to keep mining new valuable sources to keep their fake economy that has collapsed going. So they're going to make money off this.
Yeah. Every day there's another reason to hate Israel and Zionists. There's another reason to have disdain and animosity, and what I can think of a lot of words.
Look, I like Jews way better than Israel.
I love Jews way more than Israel does, because this is what's making Jews unsafe.
I mean, don't go there right now if you're Jewish. I know people went there and they were stuck, and somebody had to get them out of the country because they shut down the airports to use visitors as hostages. Remember that?
Yes. Wow. Okay, all I can tell you is come hear me tell jokes about this. I'll see you. See you in Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, San Francisco, Chicago. See you there. Go to over to Steph.
All right. You know, I didn't even understand what the watermelon thing was, so I looked it up.
Okay.
And they go, well, the watermelon itself is not inherently anti-Semitic. Oh, really? It has become a symbol of solidarity with Palestinians, particularly since the start of Israel-Hamas war. This association writes because the colors of the watermelon red, green, and black, mirror those of the Palestinian flag. Some individuals and organizations have expressed concerns that the use of the watermelon imagery in certain contexts could be misinterpreted as anti-Semitic, especially when it's used to express support for Palestinians during the conflict. Boy. All right.
So
Back to Jim.